So the Philadelphia 76ers drop a tough one to the Denver Nuggets. Today we will talk about everything that happened yesterday, and I will highlight two of the major flaws I am seeing from this Sixers team right now and discuss how we can fix them moving forward. Let's go. Perfect. What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome on into Philly Take with RB, your number one hotspot for Sixers coverage 24/7. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Thank you very much for all the continued support. Today we are back. The game lived up to the hype yesterday. I'll be honest, Embiid, the Joker, right, going head-to-head, bringing out the best in each other. They both had amazing games. All I saw today was, people try to compare them and this and that. At the end of the day, I was really happy with Joel Embiid, 34 points in the spotlight, absolutely balled out, put on a show, and I wish the rest of his team could have stepped up and helped deliver the win. Sixers drop a tough one. They give up a late lead, and obviously that's a common theme at points in the season with this team, and it's annoying, it's frustrating, but we got to build on it, and we have to move forward. And right now, I'm viewing this Sixers team. A lot of people, like to misconstrue what people say. At the end of the day, this Sixers team, I still believe can win. I still think they have the talent that can go out there and get it done. Now, that doesn't mean that we aren't lacking in certain areas, because we definitely have deficiencies. There is, no lying about that. And that's a given. We know that, obviously we could use some more bench help right now. And we said this before the trade deadline. I remember specifically saying the Sixers need another bench shooter, right? And we're lacking. Yesterday, we got outscored 48-14 off the bench. Simply cannot happen, especially as we get down later in the season. And, a lot of the people wanted to come out of the woodworks yesterday and say, we gave up Seth Curry and Andre Drummond and the ghost of Philadelphia. Well, let me tell you something, all right? Seth Curry wasn't going to put a stop to Bones Highland yesterday. Andre Drummond wasn't going to step out on the perimeter. And Ben was never going to end up playing with this team again. So honestly, this is kind of a message to some people out there, man. As Sixers fans, we just got to get better, man. We got to get better. Get over it. Get over it. We have our team. We still can contend. This team can go out there and play good ball. But there are two things that they are absolutely lacking in right now. And I will give my opinion on it today, and I would love to hear from you. In terms of what you think about the Sixers over these last couple, days, games. We still have to remember that the Sixers have only played, 7 games with James Harden? I remember saying it's going to take 10, 15 games to mesh. It's still going to take some time. There are a lot of things to work out. But these two things, man, the first thing is the Sixers, and this is a more of an on-the-court thing, right, that can be adjusted, can be tweaked. And that is our defense. Our defense is slacking right now. Like I said, Seth Curry was not going to fix the defense yesterday. This defense needs to pick it up in all areas. I can handle getting beat, but what I cannot handle as a fan, as someone who talks about this team, is watching, just piss poor effort, to be frank with you. Like, we need to put a hand up and get on these shooters. It's been about 3 to 4 games now I'm seeing this. And again, I don't feel it's a lack of talent issue. I feel like it's more of a lack of focus issue. The Sixers have a lack of focus issue in multiple areas on their defense right now, and it's hurting them. It's hurting them bad. We still are putting up points to win games, but we have to lock in, and I'm going to show a couple of plays here. One, specifically is in the transition game, and, even last night, right, James Harden comes out. And it's bad when one of your, top players is saying things like this. We got to get our ass back on defense, man. Like that, it is so out there at this point. People are making memes. They're showing clips of Doc Rivers walking down the court saying that that's the Sixers transition defense. It's been bad. And this isn't just a since James Harden got here thing. This has been going on all year. Our transition defense, we've been slow in that area. It looked good for a couple games, but it's not looking good now. Here's a play from last night, and I honestly counted about 5 of these on my hand in the first half alone. That cannot happen on these types of games and these types of stages. And as you get down to the playoffs, sure, the game will slow down a bit, but still, you cannot allow teams to run on you. Even Kevin Durant, when we played against Brooklyn the other night, said that they were just running all over us. really beating us down the court. And here's the play from last night. Harden going to miss a shot. Jokic picks it up, slings it down the floor. How does nobody get back? This is one of the main issues we are having. We're standing around, we're ball watching, and we're letting teams just fly right by us down the floor. Now, I know you can say, well, we don't have enough speed. Well, I would argue against that. We do have some nifty defenders like a Matisse Thybulle, who, again, everybody loves. I love his defensive prowess, but you got to step up more than that, right? Tyrese Maxey is one of the fastest players I've seen. We have guys that can get back down the floor. I really think it's more of a lack of focus issue. I really do. And it's tough. It's tough. Here's another play from Danny Green last night. Post-entry passer by the Nuggets. Danny's going to come over, cheat a little bit, doesn't get back, easy three. The Nuggets went on a spree late in the game. They were hitting these types of shots, but even more so, they're getting wide open looks. We need to tweak our defense, and it's been bad. It's been bad over the last couple games, and you give guys, even guys that may not be on that level, you give them open looks, you give them life, source, power. They are going to start to knock down shots. The last play that I will show from last night, Joel Embiid, this was in crunch time. This was a big play in the game. Bones Highland went absolutely off, shot it to him. But, another defensive miscommunication. Again, let's look at it again. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, they don't know. They're not communicating, right? Are they going to switch? Who's going to get back? They leave them wide open. Embiid walks away. And an easy three. This is on Joel. This is on James, Tobias, Tyrese, everybody. Everybody on the team needs to take a look, and they need to communicate. I don't know if we need more drills and practice. Well, obviously, we do need that. But I don't know if it's just, repetition and doing it and maybe, learning to come together with the new look of the team, or if it's more just we have to teach these guys. We have to do it over and over again and get guys in the best position. Obviously, we're not the best defensive team in the world, but we can play a lot better than I'm seeing right now. And those transition threes, wide open layups, they absolutely should not happen. They are team killers, and, they hurt your momentum. They really do. The other issue I'm seeing with the Sixers team is a lack of focus from, just not being locked in for 4 quarters of basketball. I don't care who's on your team. And again, people need to get over their feelings, okay? We have a team that has talent, that can contend. Again, we still probably need a couple more pieces in terms of bench depth and things like that. But it doesn't matter who's on the floor. You could have the best team of all time. You need to stay locked in for 4 quarters. And I'm looking at everybody, but mostly I'm looking at the leaders of the team, and I'm looking at Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, you got to keep your team locked in. You got to have them prepared, right? We have not been, prepared the last couple games. Even though yesterday, right, usually we start off slow as can be, and Doc Rivers talked about it before the game yesterday, and I didn't like how he said, if it's a problem in April, then I will be worried. No, Doc, you need to be worried now. This is, these are how habits form, right, as you get to the playoffs, and if the Sixers don't fix this issue, we will not win anything. That is what has me concerned right now. It's the lack of focus, and, again, usually we come out slow out of the gate. We pick it up by the third quarter, and Embiid has a monstrous second half, and we win the game, right? But in the playoffs, you can't get behind like that against these lethal scores and these good teams. And, you got to have your team ready to come out of the gate. You got to see that hunger. Well, yesterday against the Nuggets, we come out and put 37 up in the first quarter. Everybody's flying. Everybody's attacking, doing their thing. And then in the second quarter, we absolutely bottom out. We lose it all. And where does the energy go? Maybe it's some of the rotations. Maybe it's just some of, getting guys open, getting different looks, the defense adapting. But, honestly, we just did it to ourselves. We shot ourselves in the foot yesterday, and we just cannot do that. You have to play complete games. You can't give up. We gave up a lead in the second half. You just can't do that. And if you want to be a good team, right, we saw it last year in the playoffs, you can't do that. You cannot do that. I'm looking at the leaders of this team, Joel Embiid and James Harden, to take that on their shoulder and to lead these guys. Isn't it a coincidence that Tyrese Maxey just starts going off for 3 to 4 games when James Harden comes here, right? When Harden got in his head, he got in his ear, said, Tyrese, be aggressive. Are you coming to play today or not? Go out there and take your shots. How about earlier this season when Maxey stepped up after Joel Embiid told him, yo, Stop hesitating, yo. Take the shot. Take the shot. How about, Joel getting on Tobias Harris or getting on Thibault, calling these guys out. That's what we need. You need the leaders of the team to step up, and everybody's got to look at themselves in the mirror. It should not appear that only a couple guys are coming to play. And at the end of the day, Doc Rivers, you got to get your team in line and ready to go. There's no reason we should have Dan Burke, a defensive specialist. There's no reason we should have Dave Yeager, a former great defensive coach, and look like this on defense. There's no reason for it. It's going to take everybody. And Doc Rivers, you got to set the tone. Whether you got to, give consequences for not hustling or just find a way to get to these guys. You need that voice, right? You need that sense. And even going back before the trade deadline, at points it has not been here. We've had different pieces plugged in at different places, but the systematic issue is that we are not playing the right style of defense as it relates to rotations and pick and roll defense. And it's shown itself. The flaw has shown itself at points, and we got to improve on it, especially coming up to the playoffs. Those are my two flaws. That is what I'm seeing. I still think the Sixers can contend, so don't get it misconstrued. But we need to correct those two things or else we won't. And that's how I'm feeling right now. We have a tough 7-8 game stretch coming up. This will show us what we are made of. Let's go out and prove people wrong. Sixers team needs to bounce back tomorrow night in a big way against Cleveland. Give me all your thoughts down below. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, I will catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect.